Good day, I'm Robin from Genia. In this presentation, I will walk you through the automatically generated structural calculation report for the same project as in the CR menu. And also, we will review the purpose of each section and the level of checkings performed. This document follows the standard checking sequence expected by a professional engineer, which includes the design basics, the general data, the architectural drawings, design criteria, the design summary, as well as the detailed design examples. At the end, we also do have 3 different appendixes, which gives more details about the seismic loading calculations, the wind load calculations, as well as the member capacity calculations. Now let's go back to the details. So for the design basis, this section shows the building code that is used in our design process, as well as we list all the possible load combinations used for member designs, which includes the ASD load combinations, as well as the LRFD load combinations. In the next section is the general data. This section shows the architectural data input, the parameters that's used in our structural calculations. As you can see, this building is a 4-story building. Each floor has a floor depth of 12 inches, as well as it gives you the maximum wall thickness for the exterior wall as well as the interior wall. Also, we display the site parameters, which includes the zip code, and also the parameters that's extracted from the ASCE API include the site class, the risk category, and also the exposure categories. And the next section is the architectural drawing. This section shows what our computer vision model that's extracted the initial architectural drawings. So this is what has been extracted and recognized. The architectural floor plans, also with the parameters that is used in our later structural calculations. In our next section is the design criteria. This section shows the loadings applied to each floor, as well as the loading maps. You can see all the live load and dead load are applied to the floors, as well as the roofing load that's applied to the roofs. This section also shows how the seismic load is distributed among each floors, as well as the wind load applied to each floors. And the next section is the design summary. This section is really the heart of the report. This section shows the structural layout that's generated by our system. As you can see, this is the top floor, the roofing plan, the roof layout, as well as the reaction loadings that's passed to the lower levels. And this drawing is the beam layout. And with the beam design, we also gives you the beam member selection table. It shows the materials that select for each beams, as well as the DCR ratios calculated, and also the governing load combos that's used for the calculations. The next page gives you the shear wall layout, as well as the shear wall material selections. And this process, all the information applies to each floor of the building. So following the design summary is the detailed design examples. This section gives one representation of truss, joist, beam, shear wall, and post are traced line by line from applied load to code equation to the final capacity. This work gives examples for the viewers to review and verify our internal logic without analyzing each member. As you can see, this is an example for a regular truss. Right here, it shows the boundary conditions of the member, as well as the support. And then it gives you the loadings of the members. Then finally, it produces the reactions that will be passed to the lower floors. And here is a calculation example for a joist member, following the same logic. And right here, you can see a beam calculation example, as well as a wall example. So following all the calculation examples are the appendices. For the Appendix A section, this section gives the full seismic wave takeoff, also gives the response spectrum as well as the ELF distribution. The Appendix B section gives all the wind load calculation parameters, as well as the wind load methodology, and also the assumptions, simplifications when we calculating the wind load. And on the last section is the capacity calculation for a lumber materials. Now this overview shows where each key items lives in the report and the scope of verification already completed. So for further information, please contact our Genia team, and I thank you for your attention.